Kindly like, subscribe and comment to get daily updates. Anurag Srivastav, designated person, disposed 1,000 shares of AAVAS Financiers worth 14.83 lakh rupees via a market sale. ASHIKA Commodities and Derivatives Pvt Ltd. Promoter Group acquired 48.36 thousand shares of ASHIKA Credit Capital worth 9.28 lakh rupees via market purchase. Pankaj Sharma, designated person, disposed 2.50 thousand shares of O Small Finance Bank worth 18.26 lakh rupees via a market sale. Mr. Deepak Kumar Singh, designated person, disposed 10.00 thousand shares of Alkem Laboratories worth 2.81 crore rupees via a market sale. Abhay Bhave, designated person, disposed 6.50 thousand shares of Avenue Supermarts worth 1.56 crore rupees via a market sale. Mehul K. Patel, promoter and director, acquired 1.79 crore shares of BANCO Products, India, worth 174.02 crore rupees via block deal. Overseas Pearl Limited, promoter group, disposed 1.79 crore shares of BANCO Products, India, worth 174.02 crore rupees via block deal. Shri Rajiv Jain, director, disposed 27.50 thousand shares of Bajaj Finance worth 10 crore rupees via a market sale. Sangeeta K. Gupta, promoter and director, acquired 3.00 thousand shares of Bansal Roofing Products worth 1.14 lakh rupees via market purchase. S. Govindarajan, designated person, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of Coromandel International worth 16.30 lakh rupees via a market sale. Deepshikha Singh, employee, disposed 1.67 thousand shares of CRISIL worth 31.38 lakh rupees via a market sale. DHOOT Instruments Private, promoter group, acquired 1.25 lakh shares of DHOOT Industrial Finance worth 34.51 lakh rupees via market purchase. Dr. Reddy's Employees ESOS Trust, other, acquired 10.00 thousand shares of DR.REDDY'S Laboratories worth 4.39 crore rupees via market purchase. Geeta Vaswani, promoter group, disposed 1,000 shares of Dixon Technologies, India, worth 83.30 lakh rupees via a market sale. Kailash Chandri Sharma, designated person, disposed 700 shares of Dixon Technologies, India, worth 58.69 lakh rupees via market sale. Sunil Vachani, promoter, disposed 1.50 thousand shares of Dixon Technologies, India, worth 1.25 crore rupees via gift. Simplex Impex Private Limited, promoter group, acquired 80.00 thousand shares of Dollar Industries worth 1.28 crore rupees via market purchase. Dr. Arvind Lal, promoter and director, disposed 1.15 lakh shares of Dr. Lal PathLabs worth 21.31 crore rupees via a market sale. Dr. Lal PathLabs Employee Welfare Trust, disposed 2.54 thousand shares of Dr. Lal PathLabs worth 25.37 thousand rupees via EICHER. Nimish Jindal, designated person, acquired 600 shares of Dr. Lal PathLabs worth 6,000 rupees via EICHER. Shankar Banerjee, designated person, acquired 1,000 shares of Dr. Lal PathLabs worth 10,000 rupees via EICHER. Anthony John LOFFREDO, employee, disposed 3.92 thousand shares of EICHER Motors worth 87.62 lakh rupees via a market sale. Anil Bhavnani, designated person, disposed 1.50 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 16.95 lakh rupees via a market sale. Benjamin Frank, designated person, disposed 4.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 44.94 lakh rupees via a market sale. Bindu Madhav P. Tikekar, designated person, disposed 1,000 shares of HDFC Bank worth 11.30 lakh rupees via a market sale. Gaurav Khandelwal, designated person, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 22.44 lakh rupees via a market sale. Gaurav Sarda, designated person, disposed 750 shares of HDFC Bank worth 8.46 lakh rupees via a market sale. Manish Kumar Agrawal, designated person, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 22.57 lakh rupees via a market sale. Mukesh Dayaneshwar Pisse, designated person, disposed 200 shares of HDFC Bank worth 2.24 lakh rupees via a market sale. Rajiv Sen Gupta, designated person, disposed 5.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 55.91 lakh rupees via a market sale. Sanjay Kumar Singh, designated person, disposed 4.50 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 50.65 lakh rupees via a market sale. Sanjeev Bhuyan, designated person, disposed 1,000 shares of HDFC Bank worth 11.18 lakh rupees via a market sale. Sinmoy Chakrabarti, designated person, disposed 10.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 1.12 crore rupees via a market sale. Siddhanshu Mitra, designated person, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 22.51 lakh rupees via a market sale. Smita Bhagat, designated person, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 22.60 lakh rupees via a market sale. Unnikrishnan Subramanian Narishankaranilayam, designated person, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 22.37 lakh rupees via a market sale. Vikrant N. Tandon, designated person, disposed 5.00 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 55.62 lakh rupees via a market sale. Vivek Kapoor, designated person, disposed 1.70 thousand shares of HDFC Bank worth 18.96 lakh rupees via a market sale. Vivek Ramesh Vazirani, designated person, disposed 1,000 shares of HDFC Bank worth 11.22 lakh rupees via a market sale. Gupta Ankur, designated person, disposed 10.00 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 1.88 crore rupees via market sale. Gupta PROSENJIT, other, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 37.32 lakh rupees via a market sale. Mystery KM, director, disposed 20.00 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 3.74 crore rupees via market sale. NANDIKESANKK, designated person, disposed 3.20 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 59.53 lakh rupees via a market sale. Panikkar Hemant, designated person, disposed 3.60 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 67.11 lakh rupees via a market sale. Panikkar Hemant, designated person, revoked 3.60 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 67.11 lakh rupees via revocation of pledged. Ramabhadran M, other, disposed 10.00 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 1.86 crore rupees via market sale. Rangan Srinivasavi, director, disposed 20.00 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. worth 3.69 crore rupees via a market sale. SANKARANAREYANR. Designated person. Disposed 3.00 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. Worth 55.80 lakh rupees via a market sale. Venkateswaran N. Designated person. Disposed 1.75 thousand shares of Housing Development Finance Corp. Worth 32.71 lakh rupees via a market sale. ICICI Bank. Promoter. Disposed 64.42 lakh shares of ICICI Securities worth 309.83 crore rupees via a market sale. Map Auto. Promoter. Acquired 33.20 thousand shares of JAMNA Auto Industries worth 14.56 lakh rupees via market purchase. Danta Enterprises Private Limited. Promoter Group. Revoked 90.68 lakh shares of JINDAL Steel and Power worth 199.34 crore rupees via pledged released. Danta Enterprises Private. Promoter Group. Revoked 4.50 lakh shares of JSW Steel worth 12.82 crore rupees via revocation of pledged. Glebe Trading Private. Promoter Group. Revoked 10.00 lakh shares of JSW Steel worth 28.50 crore rupees via revocation of pledged. JSW Steel Employees Welfare Trust ESOP Plan 2016 AC. Other. Disposed 32.23 thousand shares of JSW Steel worth 90.81 lakh rupees via a market sale. JSW Techno Projects Management. Promoter Group. Pledged 85.00 lakh shares of JSW Steel worth 242.89 crore rupees via creation of pledged. JSW Techno Projects Management. Promoter Group. Revoked 3.30 lakh shares of JSW Steel worth 9.30 crore rupees via revocation of pledged. JTPM Metal Traders Private. Promoter Group. Acquired 22.00 lakh shares of JSW Steel worth 62.65 crore rupees via market purchase. Sahayog Holdings Private. Promoter Group. Pledged 48.34 lakh shares of JSW Steel worth 137.72 crore rupees via creation of pledged. Sahayog Holdings Private. Promoter Group. Revoked 33.10 lakh shares of JSW Steel worth 94.30 crore rupees via revocation of pledged. Anita Money. Promoter and Director. Disposed 72.21 thousand shares of JINDAL worth 5.05 crore rupees via buyback. Ishwari Krishnan. Promoter's immediate relative. Disposed 12.58 thousand shares of JINDAL worth 88.07 lakh rupees via buyback. Ramani Iyer. Promoter and Director. Disposed 23.84 thousand shares of JINDAL worth 1.67 crore rupees via buyback. VSS Money. Promoter and Director. Disposed 12.11 lakh shares of JINDAL worth 84.80 crore rupees via buyback. V. Krishnan. Promoter and Director. Disposed 22.61 thousand shares of JINDAL worth 1.58 crore rupees via buyback. Ankit Pravinkumar Patel. Promoter and Director. Acquired 1,000 shares of K.Z.LEASING in finance worth 8.51 thousand rupees via market purchase. Bashakhi Banerjee. Employ. Acquired 3.47 thousand shares of Kotak Mahindra Bank worth 38.59 lakh rupees via ESOP. Rajiv Gurnani. Employ. Disposed 4.00 thousand shares of Kotak Mahindra Bank worth 55.74 lakh rupees via a market sale. Mahindra Gulabdas Patel. Promoter. Acquired 10.00 thousand shares of Lincoln Pharmaceuticals worth 24.30 lakh rupees via market purchase. Rajesh Kumar Bajaj. Promoter and Director. Acquired 27.24 thousand shares of LOHIA Securities worth 8.47 lakh rupees via market purchase. Rajesh NALLANI. Employ. Acquired 1.30 thousand shares of Laurus Labs worth 14.55 lakh rupees via market purchase. V1C Recker. Employ. Disposed 1.79 thousand shares of Laurus Labs worth 19.69 lakh rupees via market sale. Vikas Bajaj. Employ. Disposed 21.10 thousand shares of MINDA Industries worth 75 lakh rupees via a market sale. Bansal IVAGHANI. Promoter. Disposed 30.04 thousand shares of MPL Plastics worth 85 rupees via gift. Madhur B. VAGHANI. Promoter and Director. Acquired 30.04 thousand shares of MPL Plastics worth 85 rupees via gift. Anirudh Bhanu Prasad Mehta. Promoter and Director. Acquired 3.20 thousand shares of MRO-TEK Realty worth 86.25 thousand rupees via market purchase. Max Ventures Investment Holdings PVT. Promoter. Revoked 10.89 lakh shares of Max Healthcare Institute worth 13.41 crore rupees via pledged released. Ashwin Datla. Director. Acquired 1.35 lakh shares of NCL Industries worth 1.39 crore rupees via market purchase. Divya P. Promoter Group. Acquired 2.50 thousand shares of NCL Industries worth 2.53 lakh rupees via market purchase. K. Ravi. Director. Acquired 4.80 thousand shares of NCL Industries worth 4.99 lakh rupees via market purchase. K. Pooja. Director. Acquired 4.80 thousand shares of NCL Industries worth 4.94 lakh rupees via market purchase. Alpha Mercantile. Promoter Group. Acquired 10.00 thousand shares of Orient Bell Limited worth 10.19 lakh rupees via market purchase. Iris Designs Private. Promoter Group. Acquired 18.00 thousand shares of Orient Bell Limited worth 18.03 lakh rupees via market purchase. Varun S. Kabra. Promoter and Director. Acquired 7.00 thousand shares of PLASTIBLE and TS India worth 13.25 lakh rupees via market purchase. Sumit Sharma. KMP. Acquired 1.75 thousand shares of Prataap Snacks worth 10.45 lakh rupees via market purchase. Untitled Holdings. Promoter Group. Acquired 9.45 thousand shares of Pudumji Paper Products worth 1.37 lakh rupees via market purchase. Guru Prasad Srinivasan. Designated Person. Disposed 20.00 thousand shares of Quess Corp worth 75.50 lakh rupees via a market sale. Andrew Gracias. Designated Person. Disposed 50.00 thousand shares of RBL Bank worth 96.50 lakh rupees via a market sale. Parul Seth. Designated Person. Disposed 8.00 thousand shares of RBL Bank worth 16.34 lakh rupees via a market sale. Manish Gupta. Director. Disposed 40.00 thousand shares of Sequent Scientific worth 54.26 lakh rupees via a market sale. Om Prakash Anani. Promoter Group. Disposed 1.39 lakh shares of Shilpa Medicare worth 8.35 crore rupees via a market sale. Meenal Somani. Promoter. Acquired 10.70 lakh shares of Somani Ceramics worth 0 rupees via gift. Casta Investments. Promoter Group. Acquired 1.40 lakh shares of STEL Holdings worth 85.83 lakh rupees via market purchase. Vimal Malhotra. Employ. Disposed 12.00 thousand shares of Sterlite Technologies worth 19.23 lakh rupees via a market sale. Mrs. Shanta Subramanian. Immediate relative, acquired 2.40 thousand shares of Sun TV Network worth 11.24 lakh rupees via market purchase. Mr. Tushar Gautam, promoter and director, disposed 10.00 lakh shares of Sheela Foam worth 135.82 crore rupees via off-market. Sanya Y. Kumar VALSHNAV, employee, disposed 2.00 thousand shares of Solar Active Pharma Sciences worth 19.66 lakh rupees via market sale. Shraddha Agrawal, promoter group, acquired 5.50 thousand shares of Star Cement worth 5.07 lakh rupees via market purchase. Arindam Chakravarti, designated person, disposed 3.71 thousand shares of TCNS Clothing Co. worth 16.82 lakh rupees via a market sale. Dharmender Kumar, designated person, disposed 4.12 thousand shares of TCNS Clothing Co. worth 18.65 lakh rupees via a market sale. SREYASHE holder, designated person, disposed 4.04 thousand shares of TCNS Clothing Co. worth 18.02 lakh rupees via a market sale. THANGAMAYIL Gold and Diamond PVT Ltd. Promoter Group, acquired 35.00 thousand shares of Thingamile Jewellery worth 1.26 crore rupees via market purchase. Mr. Mukesh Ahuja, designated person, disposed 8.27 thousand shares of Tube Investments of India worth 50.50 lakh rupees via a market sale. Jasmine Limited, promoter, acquired 3.60 thousand shares of Ultramarine and Pigments worth 10.02 lakh rupees via market purchase. Jayalakshmi Venkataraman, promoter, disposed 24.65 thousand shares of Ultramarine and Pigments worth 68.64 lakh rupees via a market sale. S. Narayan, promoter group, disposed 10.00 thousand shares of Ultramarine and Pigments worth 27.83 lakh rupees via a market sale. Srita Sundararajan, promoter, disposed 23.26 thousand shares of Ultramarine and Pigments worth 64.88 lakh rupees via a market sale. Pilani Investment and Industries Corporation, promoter group, disposed 76.00 thousand shares of UltraTech Cement worth 31.85 crore rupees via a market sale. Neutral Publishing House, promoter group, acquired 24.79 thousand shares of Usha Mutton worth 6.75 lakh rupees via market purchase. Mr. Kanishk Sunil Pathare, promoter group, acquired 39.92 thousand shares of VIP Clothing worth 3.77 lakh rupees via market purchase. Mr. Kanishk Sunil Pathare revised, promoter group, acquired 2.03 lakh shares of VIP Clothing worth 17.09 lakh rupees via market purchase. Nankishore Garg, promoter, acquired 6.51 crore shares of Vikas Multi Corp worth 10 rupees via gift. Vinod Kumar Garg, promoter, disposed 6.51 crore shares of Vikas Multi Corp worth 10 rupees via gift.